Hello everybody, my name is Quaidson and welcome. Um, Today we are going to be doing yet another tier list. I hope you guys enjoy these because I really do. I think they're fun just to give my 2 cents on games that I love and characters that I've grown to love or hate. Um, so you probably noticed by the title of this video and what's on your screen at the moment, but I'm going to be doing an Apex Legends uh, Legends tier list, character tier list, whatever you want to call it. Um, like my last video, I didn't really come into this with a plan. I just kind of wanted to make one, and I'm going to be going on that journey with you. So thank you for sticking around for the journey. If you're skipping to the end of this video now, more props to you. Alright, so we're just going to jump right into it. With our first character here, we have Octane. Um, and Octane was a very good character, and I still think he's pretty good. But they did nerf his stim pack a little bit, and while his ult charge is really good, I also have to consider arenas now as a game mode, because I've been playing that a lot. And Octane really doesn't excel crazy hard in that game mode, and even in Battle Royale, it's nice to be able to go fast, but it won't really help you so much in a fight, considering it uses up your health to do. I still think he's a very good character. I'm gonna throw him in B tier for now, and he might move up. Um, you know how it goes. So next up we have Pathfinder. I think Pathfinder is also a pretty solid character, but his abilities really don't help him so much in combat. His passive isn't very interesting. It's completely unusable in arenas. His ability is not very good in arenas. I should say his ultimate ability. His regular ability is great. It's an excellent movement tool. It's very Titanfall 2. um, um, However, while the zipline is very good, for mobility, I'm going to put him around where Octane, wherever I move Octane, I'm going to put him about the same, because I think they're very similar. Like Octane has like the trampoline, whereas Pathfinder has the zipline, so it's like kind of a team-based movement tool, and then they have their personal movement tools, but I feel like Pathfinders are just better, especially his zipline, or his grappling hook, I should say. Um, and also being a recon character, is having one of those on your battle royale team is very nice to have because you can scan those beacons. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable putting those two in B tier. Next up we have Rampart, and I think Rampart's really good actually. Her walls combined with her extra ammo in an LMG is really powerful. While the walls take a little while to set up, um, it's definitely worth it, considering you get the amplified damage, and you get better control with an LMG, and even using a sniper rifle through those walls, like a charged sentinel can still do crazy amounts of damage through the wall. Even if the sentinel is a little bit worse now that there's the bow in the game. So I think I'm going to put Rampart somewhere in A for now, and she might move down. I can't see her moving up from there, but I think that's a solid place for her for now. So next up we have Wattson, and I honestly don't believe Wattson to be all that excellent. Blocking off doors can be nice, but in a game like Apex where the storm is always a factor, like the ring is always closing, you can't really just huddle down in a building forever. And I feel like there's characters that even do that a little bit better than Wattson. So I'm actually going to put Wattson in our D tier here. I think she can still be played really well, and all the characters in this game can be used to a degree that I would consider good. But I'm going to say specifically Watson is maybe not the best, especially because there's not a whole lot of buildings in arenas. And even the ones there are, the storm never closes on them, so yeah. So next up we have Wraith, and Wraith is a very good character, actually. Her ability to become invincible and have a speed boost for a short amount of time is very nice, and her portals are useful, but they kind of work like a zip line, but you can only move backwards. You can move your team forwards, and you can run ahead as the Wraith, but you kind of have to set that up ahead of time. And that's a little harder to do in Battle Royale when it's not very predictable, like what you're going to run into. Now in arenas, it's very nice. I've actually found to use the portals as like kind of like a like scanning mechanism. Like you can run forward, see, oh, that's where they are, and then just run backwards or teleport backwards, I should say, with your portal. And it's very cheap to buy in arenas, so I think she's very good. I actually think I'm going to put her above Rampart in A tier. I feel comfortable doing that. And yeah. So I'm going to move on to Fuse. Fuse is not very interesting. You know, he doesn't have a lot going for him. It's just, it's nice to carry more grenades, but it's unnecessary in my opinion. You get like a blue backpack and you can carry really all you'll need. And while it's nice to sometimes just chuck grenades all over the place and get some free knocks, I'm actually going to put Fuse in C tier, solely because I just don't think he's... I just think in comparison, he's not that great and also not very team-oriented. Like, at least Watson has some team orientation. Fuse really doesn't have that. So, you know. And his cluster grenade really isn't great either. I'll be honest with you. So next up we have Revenant. And Revenant's pretty solid. His Death Warp thing can be really strong. I don't really know how good his silencing thing is. I think it's good. I think it even does a decent amount of damage when it hits somebody, I'm pretty sure anyway. I think I'm going to put him... Actually, I think I'll put him between... I think he's a little better than Rampart. He's better than I thought, now that I think about it, because, you know, giving your team basically a second life is just... It's so much more damage that the enemy team has to do than what you have to do. And especially in arenas, it's crazy good. To the point where, if the other team has a Revenant, you basically have to prepare yourself for the fact that they're probably going to get one round win on like round 3 or 4. Kind of just for free. So, next up we have Valkyrie, the newest character to the roster. And I think Valkyrie is actually pretty solid. I used to think she wasn't very good. While her flying gets her a lot of places, it makes her really easy to hit because she moves so slow, and there's like obviously not a whole lot of cover you can hide behind when you're in the air like that. However, her ability, her ultimate ability, is kind of just like a really good version of like Octane and Pathfinders, where it's just good team movement that you can just leave with. And it can also, I've seen it be very useful in arenas. It's definitely better in arenas than these two. And her rockets, while they aren't the greatest thing, if you can manage to land them, they are pretty strong just in the fact that they slow people so much. So I'm actually going to put her in the top of B tier, next to these characters that all kind of have that like team movement. So next up we have Crypto, and I don't actually know where to put Crypto anymore, because I have a hard time thinking he's good. Just because like his drone, while it reveals, it can also just get shot. Um, like you have to go into a separate menu, so you can't really be like active while you're in the drone. You're solely in like drone mode. Um, and sometimes that can get you killed if like someone sneaks behind you while you're trying to scope out a different area. Um, I think I'm going to put Crypto at the top of C. If anyone knows something more that I'm missing about Crypto that's like maybe really good, um, that I just haven't picked up on, please let me know. I would love to be proven wrong. Um, but for now, I'm going to put him in C tier. And next up, we have Caustic. Now, Caustic, I feel like Caustic has similar problems to Watson, where it's like you tend to use your gas things for, like your gas container, caustic trap things to block off doorways and stuff. But at the end of the day, the nature of the Battle Royale is that you're probably going to have to move. You can't really just sit in a building all day. However, I do think Caustic is better than Watson um, because of having, like, taking less damage. Um, and while I think Watson has the superior ult, I think Caustic traps are a lot more threatening than the Watson, like, barriers. Because they straight up block a door, whereas with Watson's things, you can really just run through them. They don't do a whole lot of damage. Um, so I'm actually going to put Caustic right here. I don't think his ult is all that excellent, but it can be good at revealing people and having the advantage on knowing where your enemy is and also being able to, like, reveal them while they're being damaged. It can be really, really useful. So I'm going to put him there. I don't think he's a bad character. Because I really think you can do well with any character. I honestly believe that. I just think in comparison, he's maybe not as good as some of the characters above him. So next up we have Gibraltar. Good old Gibby. Gibby's pretty solid, to be honest with you. His ult is just kind of a better version of Fuse's, and like that's a very bland way of putting it because Fuse's is pretty unique in comparison, but it's similar to Bangalore's, but just straight up damage instead of like the slowing effect and the impending doom of realizing that you have to leave your camping spot. His shield can be really useful. If long range downs happen, you can, chuck your shield on someone and get a free revive. You just have to be careful that people rush you inevitably when you do that. Taking less damage and having that little shield that you hold up on your arm is nice. It can save you. Gibby's he's pretty solid, I don't really have a whole lot of bad I can say about Gibby. Maybe that his ult charge is terrible, but you don't need it very often. I'm going to put Gibby... I'll put him right there. I'll put him around there, just because I do think he's good team support, like all of these characters. Actually, maybe I'll put him at the top of B, because now that I said team support, I feel like he's better team support than all of the other characters that are in B tier. You know what I'll actually do? I'm going to switch around Rampart and Gibby. I think Gibby is solid. I think Gibby is a really good character, honest to God. And Horizon is also a character I would consider to be very, very good. I know she got nerfed pretty badly. I still feel like she's good, though. Her vertical mobility on her regular ability is really nice, and her ult is super powerful, especially because you can just chuck grenades into it as well as people get sucked into it. Or, like, if you have, like, you know, some sort of barrage ult, it can be really, really useful. So I still think she's a really good character. I'm going to go ahead and put Horizon maybe up here in A tier. I think pre-nerf she would have been an S tier, but I'm going to consider the nerfs a little bit harder than maybe I should, and I'm going to put her in A tier. So next up we have Lifeline, and Lifeline used to be my most hated character. I would have put her in S tier all day, but now that they got rid of her shield, I feel like she's a little bit worse, but still good. Especially in arenas. She's a very strong pick in arenas. I'm going to go ahead and put her... If we're going off what I said about Gibby being like better team support, then I'm going to put her right above Gibby. Her being able to revive with just a drone is very nice. Her drone being able to heal, so if you're out of healing items, you have that. And while her ult's not very good for how slow it charges, it can still be useful. And it's never bad to just have more care packages. So, you know, I think she's a really solid character, to be honest with you. Maybe that's putting her too high. Maybe I'm still salty about all the people that got revived for free because of the stupid shield that no longer exists, but that's what I believe. And next up we have Loba. Loba's hard for me to pick. She is terrible in arenas, I will say that. Considering the black market can only pick up like things out of the care package that you can already get pretty easily, and the like healing items and stuff, it's not that great. Her passive is nice in Battle Royale, and so is her black market, but I really don't think she's all that, to be honest with you. It's nice to loot up quickly like that, but it's not necessary. You can explore the area so quickly in Apex with all the movement you're able to do, especially with like characters like Pathfinder and Valkyrie and Octane. I just don't really think she's all that crazy good, especially compared to everyone else. I could see an argument for her in C tier, but not much higher than that. So, you know, it is what it is. And next up we have Mirage. Now, Mirage in Battle Royale is just okay. His Mirages can help you find people. Like if they shoot at them, it'll show where they are to your whole team, which can be really nice. Good way of like finding people without putting yourselves in harm's way, I should say. But I will say, where Mirage really exceeds is arenas. Much like Lifeline, you can get a lot of good revives with Mirage due to his ability to turn invisible while reviving people. Sorry. And his ult can help you with that too, just by like going to someone, turning invisible. There's like 6 Mirages. They're not going to try to find the invisible one. They're going to try to shoot at all the other like 6 that are around you. So you're going to revive your buddy, especially if you have the golden backpack equipped. He can be a really strong force in arenas. I actually believe he's the best arenas character, believe it or not. And he's the one I've been playing the most in arenas. So if you're thinking arenas, I would probably put him in S tier. However, I'm going to split the difference because I think otherwise he would probably be in B tier. Maybe somewhere around Pathfinder. So I'm going to split the difference between them. I'm going to slap him in A tier, right above Lifeline. And my reasoning is that now that the shield no longer exists for Lifeline, Mirage is basically just as strong of a reviver. So, you know, I'm going to put him there. I have no really problems putting him there, but if you think he's too high, let me know. If you think he's too low, I can't see somebody getting mad that I put him too low, because I feel like I am in the minority of believing that Mirage is so good. But yeah. So next up we have Bangalore, and really there's not a whole lot for me to say about Bangalore. She's not super interesting. Her passive isn't crazy useful, and her smoke bomb can be crazy useful, actually. It can help you revive people. It can just be really confusing, to be honest with you. It's hard to know if people can see you in it or not. I am trying to decide now if she has more or less team support than Gibby. And I think my instincts is actually telling me no. I feel like Gibby's shield is more of like a guaranteed revive than like the smoke bomb, which is kind of just like, hope they don't see me, you know, kind of thing. And their ultimate abilities are so similar that I feel like it really comes down to that tiebreaker between what's better, you know, their basic abilities, and I feel like Gibby's edges it out a little bit. So I'm going to put Bangalore on the top of B. I still think she's an excellent character. I think the top of B is by no means a bad spot to be. And I think that's a fair placement for her. And you might notice something about this tier list. We have an S tier, but there's only one character left, and there hasn't been a character in S tier yet. Why even bother having the S tier? It's because I believe Bloodhound is far and away the best character in the game. Being able to reveal people every 25 seconds with your basic ability is insane. You can reveal an entire team, and you just have an advantage at that point. Beast of the Hunt is crazy good. Maybe not, I wouldn't say crazy good, but it allows you to spam your crazy good ability. So that's certainly something, and on top of that, it makes people easier to find. It makes you faster. It lasts a hell of a long time, and it lasts even longer if you get downs while it's happening. I have no ears when it comes to arguments about why Bloodhound is not the best character in the game, because I really think he is. Like, I don't think that's an argument. And I would love to hear that be argued, but I'm going to be stubborn and not change my position unless I hear something insanely compelling, because I have played Bloodhound a lot, I have faced Bloodhound a lot, and it's always threatening. Always threatening. So I think Bloodhound is worthy of the top slot in the game. A tier to himself, if you will. And I think this is a pretty fair tier list. Let me know down in the comments, as always, if you agree or disagree with this tier list, because I would love to hear. I'm always willing to change my mind on just about everything on this tier list, except for Bloodhound being in S tier. But I could see an argument for, like, Wraith being there with him, even, like, Horizon still being there in S tier. Maybe Gibby you think is too high. Maybe Bangalore you've done well with and you think she's better. Please let me know. I would love to hear. And if you skip to the end just to see this tier list, thank you still for clicking on my video. It puts a smile on my face, and that is always a good day. I want smiles on my face as much as possible, because hard to come by sometimes. Yeah, Apex Legends is a free game. Please go play it, and let me know what character you think is best. Alright. Goodbye, everybody. I love you.